This was supposed to be Messi's goodbye. The goals were unbelievable. Instead, a 38-year-old walked onto the World Cup stage and reminded the entire world who he is. But what happened after the match became the real story. What he said after the match is the part nobody's talking about. Stay with me, because the reason he was in tears changes the entire story. Let's set the scene. It's the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Argentina vs. Algeria. And before kickoff, the narrative was already written. Mbappe's tournament, Haaland's debut, the new generation taking the throne. Messi? Messi was the sentimental send-off, the legend getting one last bow. Maybe a goal if we're lucky. That's what the world decided. Here's what the world got instead. 3 goals, a clean sheet, man of the match, and a new record. Lionel Messi is now the all-time leading scorer in FIFA World Cup history. More than Ronaldo Nazario, more than Pele, more than anyone who ever played the game. And he did it at 38 years old, playing in MLs, on his 200th international cap. Now, before we get to the goals, and we will, because the second goal especially needs to be talked about, there's something you need to understand first. Because it's the thing that makes this performance genuinely terrifying. This is the most dangerous Messi has ever been. Not 2012 Messi. Not 2022 Messi. This one. Right now. And I know that sounds insane, so let me explain. At every other World Cup, Messi carried something with him onto that pitch. Argentina hadn't won the World Cup in 36 years. Maradona's ghost was everywhere. The pressure was impossible, and you could feel it, the weight of an entire country sitting on one man's shoulders every single game. In 2022, he finally lifted that trophy, and when he did, something shifted. Now he has nothing left to prove to anyone. And a Messi with nothing to prove, no fear, no burden, just pure joy that is a different animal. That is the most dangerous footballer on the planet, because he's not playing to silence critics anymore. He's just playing. And when Messi just plays, this is what happens. But here's where the story takes a turn nobody expected. After Messi scored that first goal, the moment the stadium erupted, the moment 80,000 people lost their minds, the cameras caught him. And he was crying. Not a happy cry. Something deeper. Something heavier. He said in the interview afterward it wasn't about the football at all. There were personal things happening in his life. Things off the pitch. Things he kept private. And that image, the greatest player of all time, standing in the middle of a World Cup stadium, 200 caps deep, tears running down his face for reasons that had nothing to do with football, that's when it hit. This isn't just a tournament. This is the final chapter. And he's playing through something we don't even fully know about. Now let's talk about the goals. Because they deserve it. The first one, Messi gets the ball about 25 yards out. Half turn. He's got 2 defenders closing fast. Anyone else takes a touch, maybe plays it safe. Messi just lets it go. Pure power, top corner. The keeper barely got a hand to it. People had been saying all year he's slower, he's lost his shot. Mills has dulled him. He answered that in about 2 seconds. The second goal is the one that broke people. Long range, outside the box, the kind of strike you'd expect from a player in the peak years of their prime. Not from a man pushing 39. When it hit the net, there was a moment even in the stadium where people just stood there. You could see it on their faces. Did that just happen? And the third tap in. Clinical, done, no drama needed. Just Messi being Messi, always in the right place. 3 goals, 0 penalties, all open play. Here's the detail that gets overlooked in all of this. Out of every attacking player from both teams on that pitch, Messi had the most defensive contributions. He was pressing, tracking back, winning the ball at 38 years old. Mbappé scored twice for France that same night and barely pressed once. Haaland was brilliant for Norway, but that's his job. Messi? He doesn't have to press. He's the greatest of all time. The team would never ask him to. He does it anyway. That's not just skill. That's character. That's why that Argentina dressing room would run through a wall for him. Now, step back for a second. Think about what this World Cup actually is. Messi's last. Almost certainly Ronaldo's last. Neymar fighting to even stay fit long enough to see a minute of it. This is the final curtain on the greatest era football has ever seen. And they're all here, on the same stage, at the same time. And on the opening night of the big games, Mbappé dropped a brace, Haaland announced himself, and then Messi came out, as if he'd been waiting for his moment, and just reminded the entire world exactly where he stands. Some things don't need words. Here's the truth, and it's one that even the hardest Ronaldo fans know deep down. One day sooner than any of us want, Lionel Messi will play his last game. He'll walk off a pitch for the final time, and in that moment, it won't matter which side of the GOAT debate you were on. Something will be over. Something that can never come back. We were born in exactly the right window of time to watch this man play football. Think about that. Out of all the years in all of human history, we got this. Lionel Messi, 38 years old, Mills 200 caps, World Cup all-time top scorer, hat-trick in the first game. The next generation showed up ready. He reminded them who built this. And somewhere in that stadium, after the final whistle, after the records and the goals and the tears, he was probably just thinking about his family, about whatever he's carrying right now, because that's who he is. Still playing, still pressing, still the best. Every game from here could be the last time the world watches Lionel Messi on this stage. So here's what I want to know. Does he win it again? Or is this World Cup the perfect ending, win or lose? Tell me in the comments. And if this video meant something to you, you know what to do. Vamos Argentina!